Happy Friday, ladies and gents. Bitcoin is setting new highs at 44,500. Not quite, but we are nearly there. And this is all in the wake of the ETF news, okay? There is actually news that's just hit the market now that the SEC has had meetings with Fidelity for their spot ETF, and some really good sources apparently saying that we're looking at an approval as early as next month, January 2024. Look at this, ladies and gents, 44.6K. Absolutely phenomenal performance for Bitcoin right here. And what I want to talk to you guys about is that the ETF will not make you rich. Okay, let's change the tone up a little bit. A lot of people are getting very excited by the prospect of the ETF. Bitcoin is just stealing the show. Look at this, ladies and gents, absolutely insane. People are getting very, very excited by the prospect of an ETF because essentially, if you've been living under a rock, what it means is that major players with deep pockets will be able to buy spot Bitcoin, real Bitcoin, and because a lot more money can come in from much deeper pockets, the idea is that the market moves up. It's bullshit, okay? It's absolute bullshit, and I want to tell you why. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do, and this is the first key way to actually anchor any conversation about Bitcoin with ETFs or any kind of institutional money, is actually by looking back at what happened in 2017. We're going to go on a little bit of a walk down memory lane right here. Those of you who were here back at the end of 2017, let me know in the comment section, do you remember what happened? Tell me I was here in December 2017 if you knew what happened, because what we actually saw was this run up to the CME futures for Bitcoin, and the day that those futures launched, what happened was somewhat similar to right now. The idea was that a lot more money is going to be able to flow into Bitcoin from extremely deep pockets, but the first thing they did, they snapped their fingers and shorted the fuck out of this market and sent us into a multi-year bear market. Multi-year, I mean, they punished us, right? And this time is only slightly different in that this is not futures. You can't short with a spot ETF. But what is exactly the same, and I've been saying this for a very long time, you're watching this video now on whatever, December the 9th, depending on your time zone, December 8th, you will know that I'm right about this. It might not be now, it might take a couple of days or a couple of weeks, it might even be after the ETF is approved. But I am very sure, I'm quite confident to go out on the record and say that I'm very sure about this, and I don't do this often. Those of you that are subscribed are going to know that I don't do this often, that this ETF will be bad news for the price, at least temporarily. And the reason I'm saying that is just before we look at any more charts, I just want to level with you for a second. We're having a chill conversation here. Do the rich people, do the mega wealthy people that are tied deeply in with mainstream financial systems and so on, the guys that you want to pump your bags, do they make the little guy rich? Yes or no? Do they make the little guy rich? Okay, it's a very, very simple, straightforward question with an extremely straightforward answer. We have evidence of where this happened back in 2017, right in front of it on the same fucking asset that we're looking at as well. Only half the price ago, by the way. Exactly the same thing happened. And right now, there's this false belief that these guys are going to come into the market and start pumping your shit. It's very easy to buy into that kind of narrative, to drink that Kool-Aid, while Bitcoin hasn't pulled back for an entire 90-day period. 90-day period, ladies and gents, that Bitcoin hasn't pulled back and damn near doubled from this 25K low, where I was telling you guys, everybody was really bearish down here. Everybody was really bearish down here. I was just staying very happy in my long positions. You guys have seen how that's been going for me. I'm super, super happy with the performance of those positions. Take a look at this, ladies and gents, for where I am at. That is a phenomenal 1,066% profit on my Bitcoin position, another 370% profit on my Tron position. I played another Link position, closed some profits, had I think one very small loss in between. But super, super happy with the performance of my trades recently. And of course, all of those trades were made on Bybit, which remains the best place to be in this crypto market. I can't think of a more reliable exchange to use, especially now that Binance has been having their problems. If you're looking for an alternative, Bybit is going to give you up to 30K in free trading capital that you can deploy straight into the market and trade with. Shout out to those of you that have already taken advantage of this, because you've got a lot of free money to trade with. You keep all the profits. CoinW and BingX also doing similar deals, and and they're both non-KYC exchanges. BingX has a really, really cool offer because you actually get access to traditional finance markets. You can trade stocks and Forex and stuff like that. We don't really care about that right now, but it's very, very good to know and to have prepared. This is the thing, is that while the market has pumped up super high and these narratives are going crazy, it's very exciting to think that, this ETF is going to get approved and that everyone's going to make a lot of money, but it's just not the way it works. We've seen ample evidence of Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, back in 2018, right? I'll actually show you where it happened. You can go back and look at the sources yourself. I'm not going to pull this up for you, but it's very, very simple research. Do a time-based Google search and you'll see around here, Jamie Dimon was talking shit about Bitcoin. He's the CEO of JP Morgan. Down here, they start buying Bitcoin. It is a tried and tested method that these established people use to get people like you, and it's working, get people like you really fucking excited for what's going to happen in the market. And before they give it to you, they will crash it and they will make you panic sell, and then they will sell you their Bitcoin back at these highs. Okay, I mean, we've seen this kind of thing happening all the time. I don't even know why this happened. I'm just going to put that away. We've seen this happening constantly. What am I doing? Whoa, why is my keyboard being super weird right now? I have no idea what's happening with my keyboard. Okay, we have seen this happen many, many times, and it is all the same thing repeating right now as far as I'm concerned. Yes, it hasn't quite played out yet, but that doesn't matter. The point of me being here is that I'm going to try and make these bits of analysis before the move actually happens so I can adequately position myself. And I've actually sold a little bit of my spot BTC over the last couple of days. Not too much, obviously. I mean, I'm still fucking, massively bullish on Bitcoin. I mean, I'm literally trading the long side, but I'm doing it reasonably, ladies and gents. I mean, I'm not here to fuck around and get super excited with this kind of thing or anything like that at all. That's really not my game, and you guys know that very, very well. I'm just not the kind of guy that gets super excited by this kind of price action and gets carried away with it. I mean, I'll trade it and I'll make a shitload of money off it, but I'm not here to be riding the same bandwagon as everybody else, and that's why I think that this is really, really important. We're all getting very carried away. Bitcoin is setting brand new highs. It is super, super exciting, but we've seen how these people play their games. And now that Bitcoin has risen up to such critical areas on the chart, you really do have to start asking yourself, where is danger? Well, let me tell you guys right now, we're in that zone right now. This little, purple box that I've drawn here between these two orange lines, absolutely critical for the market right now, ladies and gents. I mean, this is where if you guys are getting excited right now, I'm sorry, but you're on the wrong side of this. I was excited on Bitcoin down here. I was excited on Bitcoin down here and down here. I'm not excited right now. Take it from me as a guy that's actually traded this move damn near perfectly since the beginning. This is where people who really know what they're doing are going to start strapping themselves in, tightening their fucking seatbelt and getting ready for a little bit of turbulence, ladies and gents, because this is where a lot of reversals have actually taken place for Bitcoin throughout its history. This is going back to 2021 and 2022. We've seen key reversals taking place at this level, big support hits, and of course, big rejection hits as well. We would be, massively foolish to pretend like that might not repeat right now. And I think that's a really, really big deal for us to be keeping in mind right now, because this is where we're kind of reaching that peak excitement. Now, I did show you the 4Flies dashboard briefly. We have seen a pullback on the Fear and Greed Index, so that's good. That does go in our favor. But at the same time, guys, remember this. Binance retail traders were majority short just a couple of days ago. It's now actually evened out completely, both Binance and Bybit. So I think this is really telling. We're now no longer, even though the Fear and Greed Index isn't quite confirming it, although it is confirming it because we're at a reading of 72. I just thought we'd be much higher than this, like 80 by now, but still super greedy territory. Even though this isn't quite confirming that, we do have the same kind of metrics on the long and short ratio now starting to even out and show us that actually the guys that usually lose money are now starting to become a little bit more bullish, right? This is absolutely critical. I mean, if you take a look at the altcoins, by the way, and those of you guys, if you've been watching my most recent videos, you had to have made money. We've been so on point with everything. One of the key things I was telling you guys in each of my recent videos is that I see altcoins right now as being in a position where there's much more money to be made than money to be lost. And what is the outcome of that? Well, you've probably already seen it. We have seen massive, massive upside on the altcoin market here. Take a look at Matic, absolutely phenomenal here. Let's switch this onto the 4-hour time frame. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Cardano, absolutely insane. I actually had a trade planned on this. I told VIPs about it and I fucking got cold feet, which was super, super annoying. That trade would have been a 370% profit. I'm just not going to talk about this anymore. And Solana doing the same thing, just pumping beautifully actually into a macro area of resistance. Now we'll talk about that in a little bit. ARB looking beautiful as well. Link, another trade that I actually outlined in VIP, didn't quite get filled on, and I traded Link again previously before that. I made some really nice profits, also pumping up. All of this right after I was telling you guys that opportunity is really opening up here. So that is all absolutely fantastic. And that's why, I'm not the bearish guy here that's just trying to spread FUD or anything like that. But I am the guy that's, always ready to take that step back and say, hey, hang on a minute, what the fuck is going on? We've pumped up this much, this aggressively. I mean, Cardano is up 20% in a day. 20% in a day. Take a look at this. From this low to this high, 32%. To the current price, 25%. And that was just in the last 1 or 2 days. I mean, absolutely insane price action right here on Cardano. And at the same time, Bitcoin breaking these levels. And this is all off the back of that. Let's actually just type this in. This is all off the back of that ETF news. If we put this into Twitter, let's see if we've got any key tweets. SEC holds meeting with Fidelity to discuss its spot Bitcoin ETF. Everybody is bullish. Absolutely everybody is bullish. I've got a trading list right here on Twitter, and just across the board, we're getting, I don't know, this is not super relevant right now. There we go. I mean, just a lot of celebrations, a lot of people getting super excited. I don't have anything against these guys. I think they're all phenomenal guys. I mean, that's why I'm looking at them. But, we are very, very clearly seeing that sentiment is so polarized to the upside right now. And that doesn't mean that we can't get more upside. I can't stress enough. I'm still in my long position, right? So, the 20 IQ guys that are watching this, first of all, how the fuck did you end up on my YouTube channel? But second of all, please keep in mind, I'm still actually actively trading the upside on 2 positions, much, much more profit than you've made. So trust me, I'm heavily invested in this direction. But again, at the same time, it's just being aware of when those kind of pullbacks can come. When the market reaches this stage of irrationality, we can certainly pump up by another $1,000 even easily. No problem at all. We can certainly pull off something like that, and I don't think that would be particularly difficult. But these are the times where you're actually going to start to see that things might start to get very, very risky. One of the things that I think is really interesting is if we take a look at Bitcoin's dominance here on the daily, we have gotten a really nice breakout above this green box right here, which was previously quite an important level. We got a pullback when we originally reached the top of this box, and now we've fallen back into it. And this could be, your typical SR flip where we get above the box and then we come back down for some support and then we continue higher. Now, look, I don't really like to do this kind of analysis on Bitcoin's dominance, right? And I've told you guys about that in the past. Yet, at the same time, if those kind of factors change, if those facts change, and it's clearly respecting these levels incredibly well, it's clearly finding support where we expect it to, it's clearly flipping on these, kind of midterm levels where we expect it to, it's clearly forming macro reversals where we expect it to, well, I might start giving a little bit more credit to things like this right now. I told you guys that I saw massive opportunity for the altcoins. I don't necessarily think that that's over, but I mean, if this is going to be a bounce for Bitcoin's dominance here, then, we could be in trouble, right? For the altcoin market. And taking that even further, if Bitcoin pumps up, I mean, this is what we see every time Bitcoin pumps up. Bitcoin has started moving up just in the last hour or so, and look at Bitcoin's dominance, right? When Bitcoin takes the spotlight again, nobody wants to trade their altcoins. And I think that is a really big deal, something that is very much worth paying attention to, because when you're in that kind of position, you don't want to be caught with your pants down at your fucking ankles, because you were too excited with these altcoins right here. Really, really important, ladies and gents, to keep that in mind at this stage of the market. I mean, this is where, look, you can ape into shit and make a lot of money very, very quickly, but if you're not exercising proper financial hygiene, you're going to find yourself in a lot of trouble. I know I sound like that boring guy right now, but my whole game, my whole strategy with these markets is to make sure that I do not lose money. That is obviously a very boring proposition for a lot of people, but You can't fill water into a bucket that has a hole in it. Please do keep that in mind. If you've got poor financial hygiene, I don't care if you've made money over the last few days. Fucking who hasn't? It's been incredibly easy. You just had to buy something with your fucking eyes closed and you'll make a shitload of money in this market over the last few days. It doesn't make you good. It actually makes you one of these Binance retail traders that have finally started to equal out. This is a danger zone. And that ETF thing, like we were talking about, guys, I mean, it is just absolutely incredible, the level of excitement that people have with this Bitcoin stuff with the ETF right now. I mean, look at these headlines just all over the place. If we actually try and go and look at Cointelegraph, we're probably going to see an article about this right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. See if they've just posted an article about this. This would be interesting. Crypto lawyer wants to depose CZ. Interesting. Yeah, CZ's case is interesting. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, no new articles on Cointelegraph here just yet. But we're certainly seeing just all of the mania around this idea right now. And that's where, again, these alarm bells just have to start going off in my head, because, again, everybody's just buying into this completely false narrative of the big guys in their fancy suits are going to come down from their Wall Street fucking massive corporate towers and then buy our Bitcoins and our shit coins and fill up our pockets. And it's just never how it happens. In fact, a lot of the time how it happens is that they actually, are going to engineer some sort of fucking fear campaign. Bitcoin's up fucking for 90 days, up by 75%. I mean, I don't care if it goes up by another 10%. The point still stands incredibly strong. It can go up by another fucking 50%. It still stand very, very strong. We are just unequivocally in the kind of position now where the danger has clearly become more than the upside, at least in my opinion, and that is coupled with the sentiment, which is getting quite euphoric. Now, that doesn't mean it has to last forever. This is really important. If we get one sharp pullback or one long pullback, that's enough to reset the market quite a bit, in my opinion. And one of the things I was telling you guys earlier is that I think a key reason Bitcoin even went up this much this quickly, I think one of the key reasons for that was because we traded sideways for so long, right? I was talking to you guys a lot about the 7-month period of sideways consolidation. That is a really clear sign that this market has, coiled up for long enough to then, like a spring, just release, and all of that kinetic potential energy, just getting released, and it's just absolutely explosive, right? So it's not massively surprising that we got up this high this quickly, but at the same time, you've got to keep in mind that things don't go up in a straight line forever. And when every fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry is getting super excited by the price of Bitcoin going up, and these guys in their big fancy suits come in to save you, get your wife back, get you back on those yachts with the Russian girls in Dubai and stuff like that, when that's how you start feeling, that is generally a signal of trouble up ahead. And, again, it's just about understanding that this can take a while sometimes. I remember very well, and it's one of the key reasons I'm coming on with such stark warnings today in this YouTube video, when Bitcoin was in this rally right here. Bitcoin went up to about here, and I started to say, hang on a minute, guys. I'm not really sure about this. I don't think Bitcoin can continue to go high too much. And I held on to that belief right up until over here. Over here is when I switched bias, and yeah, sure, I was right for a couple of days, and then I was right even more, some weeks after that. But it turned out to be a very bad idea for me to, get discouraged, that simply because I was a little bit early to my judgment, that to then think that I might have actually been wrong, and that's a public mess up that I had. I mean, you guys have seen me. Everything I do is public, and so it's it's something different. You can mess up in private, you might lose a little bit of money, and that's obviously a little bit painful, but if I would do that, and I would also look like an idiot in front of you guys. So the wins are public, the losses are public, and thankfully there's way more of the winning than the losses. But at the same time, it's really, really important, and you've seen me have that blunder in front of you, to not start feeling like just because the market has been irrational, and it might continue to be irrational, that it's time to start jumping back on that bandwagon, because a lot of the time that can put yourself in the position that I was in on this admittedly relatively rare occasion. Oh my God, what is happening? Where Bitcoin actually, just tanked directly afterwards. Really, really important stuff to be keeping in mind. So, we can go more technical about the ETF, but the fact is that we don't need to. You've watched all the other YouTubers telling you why the ETF is a beautiful thing. Absolutely nobody is grounded in reality and understands that it's just not how real life works. It's the reason that I started the video off the way I did, by simply asking you the question: are they going to make you rich? Yes or no? And hopefully that's where your common sense kind of clocks back in, and you're like, actually, hang on a minute, these guys don't give a fuck about me. They probably want me to panic sell my Bitcoin, you know. And by the way, they succeeded, because a lot of you guys, I don't know about you guys specifically, but a lot of the crypto space obviously did sell so much of their crypto down here back when I was telling you, especially down here, that actually, guys, I don't think this is going to continue dropping down. And actually, I think that, you know, we really could be looking at a 30K or even 40K Bitcoin. So, you know, that's the thing which I think is really, really important. I mean, you know, the same guy standing in front of you right now, sitting in front of you right now and telling you that, hey, we're at a macro area of resistance. People are really fucking excited. Retail has evened out. We're still massively greedy. ETF news is just, you know, right in our face. And everybody thinks they're about to get rich by people who don't know them. It just ain't how it works. It's just not how it works. So look, we'll see. You know, I'm super happy to see Bitcoin continuing to rise. I want to see that. I want to see it happening sensibly, right? I mean, you know, I actually want Bitcoin to go up and then stay up this time. You know, it's just better for all of us. You know, the higher Bitcoin is, the more liquidity there is, the more the altcoins move, the more trading opportunities there are for you and me. Like I said, VIPs have seen how I've been taking advantage of the market beautifully over these last weeks and months as well. So, you know, I mean, I want the price to be up and I want it to stay up very, very well, you know, but at the same time, if it's just, you know, starting to set itself up in a very dangerous position, I'm going to voice that and I'm going to bring that to your attention. So, you know, one of the things that I think is interesting is it does look like some of these coins are right now approaching their macro resistance areas. Here's Cardano, a very interesting chart right here. We had some macro resistance back here, mid 2022. And if we go way back to 2017, we also had macro. What is going on with my laptop right now? We also had macro resistance right here at about the 57 cents area. So, like, what is this? If I click this, what is this? Oh, these are my alerts. Okay, let's not move them. Okay, never mind. Yeah, because I actually changed the alerts on my chart and they're like basically invisible now. You can't really see them. But yeah, you know, macro resistance right there on Cardano. If we take a look at, you know, Solana is another one. Very clear macro resistance right now. I mean, is this an opportunity to short? Not necessarily. I mean, you know, it's a very, very bullish market. I mean, it's not going to be a comfortable position to go short on these markets right now. You know, yet at the same time, I mean, these are reversal points, and we haven't actually tested this one as resistance yet. So, you know, that's not to say we will. We could just blast straight through it, but what are the odds of that? You know, I mean, the moves have happened. You know, I think that this is where a lot of people are, you know, with their FOMO going to try and, you know, jump in for the last, you know, 2, 3, 5, 10%, 20% of these rallies, you know, whereas the real money was already made. And, you know, and I think that's really important to keep in mind. Look, you and I, we're trying to stay realistic, right? I mean, you know, if you're making it this far into my kind of videos, you know, you're clearly about your shit. You know, you're not one of the shit munching traders here that, you know, is massively disadvantaged in the market. You want to have real conversations about real moves in the market. Well, here it is. You know, macro resistance across many coins. You know, and massive euphoria. I mean, you put it together. You know, I could be wrong. Obviously, when the markets really start pumping up, you know, what actually tends to happen is that absolutely everybody is super bullish, so there's just nobody selling, and that's why the price rises up, right? So that could definitely happen, and that could happen a lot, and it could get very crazy, and I'm super open to that. That would be great. I'd make more money. I'm already 200K up on my Bitcoin long. I'd love that to turn into 250 and 300. So, you know, that's absolutely great. You know, but at the same time, you know, I think it's just about, staying grounded, staying reasonable. This ETF, you know, hope that everybody has, this, you know, weekend pumps for altcoin stuff. You know, I mean, when everybody's saying it, and it's just, it's where I'm going to get cautious. I might still be looking to trade longs. I've actually outlined a couple positions to VIPs already that I want to trade. I might even start looking at some macro shorts. I'm gonna keep watching this. I'm gonna keep evaluating this to see where I'm feeling you know, that the market might go, what I want to do, and of course I'll keep you guys updated inside of VIP and right here on this YouTube channel. You guys already know the deal. I'm trading these moves on Bybit. I'm also using the other key exchanges in the description down below. You're gonna get up to 30K when you start trading on Bybit using my link in the description. And if you're signed up to Bybit using my link, I'm also going to give you my free trading package worth way more than $100. And it's all about the key psychological lessons I learned. It's an ebook, an audiobook, and a video course. It's all the same content, but we've compiled it in 3 different ways. Very, very, very useful package. It really shouldn't be free, but Bybit was nice to me, so I'm being nice to you. So go ahead and check it out if you are interested. And of course, you've got two beautiful no KYC exchanges as alternatives, and BingX specifically allowing traditional finance trades is a great benefit. There is actually an S&P 500 trade that I've been interested in making. I've told you guys about it in the past, but now we're finally there, which is basically just a momentum long above this area, right? So if the S&P 500 gets above here, then maybe a long. I don't really know if I'm going to do that anymore. I might look at, something a little bit like this, and then try and enter over here, but in any case, that is a trade that I would be making on BingX. So that is linked down in the description down below right here. My free Telegram channel. Go get yourself inside. You get more free trade updates from me. Also, here's a look at some of the trades here. This is my link trade. It made way more profit than this. I secured way more profit than this, so I was super happy with that. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful performance across the board here. Super, super happy. My first ever 1,000% profit in one single trade. This is, a lot of people show numbers like this, but they're using like 100x leverage. They're using fucking $5. Like, no, I put 140K in and I use 10x leverage. Like, this is not, some chump change position. This is real fucking money. When you see big percentage gains like this, always ask what's the leverage. And if they don't show the leverage, I fucking guarantee you that it's like 60x or 80x or something just ridiculously balls to the wall insane. No, this was a sensible position with an extremely large capital size, and it still performed extremely well. There just aren't that many people that are real in the space, and that's why you're here. So thank you for the love, ladies and gents. If you have enjoyed this video, do me a favor and smash up the likes. I'll be honest, guys, the YouTube channel isn't performing as well as I'd like it to right now. Admittedly, that's probably my fault because I haven't been super active, but the support that you guys give on this channel does go a really long way. So, we're putting out great content. If you like it, if you're making money off it, if you're finding it useful to stave off losses or whatever the case may be, any interaction that you give does go a long way. It really is just like that. So it doesn't cost you anything. If you think it's useful and you appreciate it, then please do consider showing some love. If not, totally cool. I understand. Trust me, I do understand. But I'll see you all in the next one. All right, guys, take it easy. Cheers.